Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air, proud to support the mission of KPBS and privileged to serve San Diego clients. Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air, helping homeowners maintain drain, heating, and cooling systems since 1978. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following. By viewers like you. Thank you.
Good evening. It's Friday, November 26th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Amitha Sharma, in for Maya Trabulsi. It's been a tough Thanksgiving holiday for some in the East County after their power was shut off due to dry and windy weather. We just got word that electricity has been restored to over 4,500 customers. KPBS reporter Matt Hoffman says it comes as conditions clear up in areas around Alpine and Campo.
Here in Descanso near the county library, SDG&E crews have been out trying to help people impacted by their outages. Workers have been giving out food, water, ice, along with phone chargers and other supplies for those who need it.
When we came home last night, we thought it was probably going to be turned off because how dark it was. And then when you get out of the vehicle, you can hear all the generators going.
Descanso resident Christine Sawyer was one of thousands who lost their power yesterday. She says luckily they were not celebrating Thanksgiving at her home.
I'm just glad I didn't have to cook Thanksgiving at my house because I would have been very frustrated if I had already done my macaroni and cheese, green beans and bacon, so I didn't have a problem.
Others were not so lucky and say the power went off while they were in the middle of cooking dinner. With high winds, low humidity, and warmer temperatures, the National Weather Service issued a red flag warning through this afternoon, warning of fire danger.
The fuel conditions, since it's been such a dry month, and we had a little bit of rain last month, but the vegetation is still quite dry.
Meteorologist Adam Roser says the winds are dying down and conditions should stay mild through next week.
Today we're kind of on the downward trend.
As conditions improve, SDG&E crews are inspecting lines and restoring power. By midday today, an update said several thousand customers already had their electricity back on. But for people living out here, these power safety shutoffs are nothing new, and they say you have to be ready for them.
It hasn't really impacted me that much because you have to be prepared. We do have a generator.
If your power is off and you need assistance, SDG&E says this resource center will be open through 10 p.m. tonight. Here in Descanso, Matt Hoffman, KPBS News.
And we just got another update. SDG&E now says since power has been restored, all community resource centers have been closed. A new COVID-19 variant is sparking more restrictions and shaking up global markets. The U.S. is following other nations, including the EU, in limiting travel from 8 African countries come Monday. Isabel Rosales reports on the overall uncertainty about the new strain.
The World Health Organization is naming an emerging coronavirus variant first identified in South Africa, Omicron. International scientists have designated it as a variant of concern.
The next couple of months are going to be up to us.
While Omicron is rapidly spreading in parts of South Africa, Dr. Anthony Fauci said the new strain doesn't appear to be in the U.S.
There's no indication that it is right now.
The strain has an unusually high number of mutations, more than 30, in the key spike protein, the vital structure the coronavirus uses to attack cells.
So right now you're talking about sort of like a red flag that this might be an issue.
Experts fear this heavily mutated variant could be more transmissible and reduce the effectiveness of vaccines. Vaccine scientists are already testing the variant and expect to learn more in a matter of weeks.
We don't know right now, but we're going to find out for sure.
The heads of Pfizer and its German partner, BioNTech, have said the companies can adapt their vaccine within 6 weeks. The uncertainty is rattling investors. At opening bell, Wall Street deep in the red. The Dow falling more than 900 points at close. And global markets fell sharply Friday. Experts warn while it's too early to know the exact threat of this variant, it's not too late to get vaccinated. In Washington, Isabel Rosales, KPBS News.
With a deadline looming, the Marine Corps is on track to have the lowest vaccination rate in the Department of Defense. 94% of active duty Marines are partially or fully vaccinated against COVID-19. That means, depending on the number of approved exemptions, around 11,000 Marines could be kicked out. However, the Navy Secretary suggested earlier this month that Marines will have an opportunity to change their mind if they miss Sunday's deadline. Black Friday kicks off the official start of shopping for the holidays. While people crowd the big box stores, small businesses try to promote another day for local shopping, Small Business Saturday. KPBS reporter Tanya Thorne spoke to a boutique owner about the need for business this year.
Black Friday is no longer just one day. Many stores hold Black Friday deals all week long, many online. But smaller shops are really in need of foot traffic inside their stores.
You don't really realize it, but one sale really supports a dream, and shopping local makes a difference for small business owners.
Amanda Marie owns Blessed and Bougie Boutique in Oceanside. She says her boutique is a one-stop shop for women of all shapes and sizes.
My goal is to inspire women to shop confidently. Being a plus-size woman, I know it's extremely hard to find the right clothing these days, and I'm just so excited to be able to offer a little something for everyone. If you're a size small or a 3XL, it doesn't matter. We got something for you.
Marie says she hopes Small Business Saturday will be a lifeline for her store after the COVID pandemic. She's planning special events to try to attract customers.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday, we have 20% off the whole store. We're really excited about Small Business Saturday. We have a sip and shop planned. We have One Hope Wine coming to do a wine tasting. 10% of our proceeds will be going to a battered women's shelter.
Just as big name stores have shifted some sales online, Marie says most small businesses have had to do the same, but she says she wants a return to in-person shopping.
So during the pandemic, you know, we had our online website, and online was the way to go, but we're so personable. We want to meet you, we want to greet you, and we really want to get to know you guys as our customers.
Marie says it's hard to keep up with the trends, especially running social media for her business.
People think they walk in the store, oh my gosh, they see all the glimmer and the lights and the beautiful things. It's very hard.
But she'll do it for her customers. Tanya Thorne, KPBS News.
The National Retail Federation is expecting this holiday weekend will break records with nearly 2 million more shoppers than last year. KPBS reporter Melissa May checked out Black Friday shopping in San Diego.
Black Friday traditionally marks the start of the holiday shopping season.
It was wonderful. I was expecting it to be a little more busy, but it was a great experience.
Target customer Eileen Acosta compared her experience today to last year's Black Friday.
Oh, it was much better than last year. This year it was very easy. Parking was great. Lines inside the store were easy, so it was great.
Acosta took advantage of some early Christmas shopping for her niece.
There was a lot of great deals, a lot of buy one, get one 50% off. So we got a lot of Christmas toys and trees.
Students Julie Smith and Luigina Gutierrez were also enjoying some shopping on Black Friday. Gutierrez was surprised when they pulled into the parking lot.
We expected long lines, and when we came to Target and there were a lot of parking spots, we were surprised. And when we went inside for the lines to check out, there were like no wait. We just went to self-checkout, and there were like open registers too.
Gutierrez did not think the store was too crowded.
Yeah, everybody was wearing masks, and nobody was really like up on each other. Everybody was pretty spaced out. So even though it's like more free to roam around than it was last year, I think that people are still respecting people's spaces and everything.
Smith was happy that it was pleasant inside the store.
Everyone was really nice, and there wasn't really many lines, and it was pretty quick.
People also took advantage of the drive-up option for their Black Friday shopping. Melissa May, KPBS News.
Comic-Con Special Edition is in full swing now. For the first time in years, people can actually buy badges on site to the pop culture convention. KPBS arts reporter Beth Accomando began the day at Comic-Con Museum.
This morning, Comic-Con International marked a return to in-person events with a ribbon-cutting ceremony with Mayor Todd Gloria.
So to mark this momentous occasion, not only to have the mini Comic-Con this weekend, but to have a permanent presence where those who are fans of this art form can come and enjoy it, I think that's pretty special. And it's my pleasure to declare today to be Comic-Con Museum Day in the city of San Diego. Let's remember this as what it is, a historic day in our city, an important day for our park, and a wonderful day for this international phenomenon.
Comic-Con reopened its museum to coincide with its return to an in-person show called Comic-Con Special Edition. The show is expected to bring in about 60,000 attendees, less than half the size of its pre-pandemic event. So the exhibit floor feels less crowded than it has been, and Hall H is now set aside for badge registration rather than Hollywood panels. And while no one is camping out overnight for studio panels, there are long lines to prove vaccination status before entering the San Diego Convention Center to get your badge.
You have to have a COVID wristband to pick up your badge.
Alonzo Nunez, director of Little Fish Comics Studio, will be attending the special edition with a group of his students. He'll be on one panel to discuss Little Fish's nonprofit work, as well as another to lift the curtain on what goes into judging the Eisner Awards, the Oscars of the comics industry.
It's professional nerd arguing, right? So these are all people that are coming to comics from an academic standpoint, an educational standpoint, a retail standpoint, and they all have their favorites, and they are all very passionate about their favorites.
Patricio Janelsa is screening his film Lumpia with a Vengeance and has a booth at Small Press.
We have, I mean, this is the best thing. You're making a comic book film, and we have a companion comic book, especially some exclusives here that we're selling, and we're talking about our journey from movie adaptation to comic book versus the other way around, right? Usually it's from comic book adaptation to movie, so we have this really unique journey that we're excited to share tonight.
The lack of a Hollywood presence on the exhibit floor and on panels may allow for independent creators to get more attention, and in a way, that's really what Comic-Con is about. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.
A new program is helping Black homeowners get into San Diego's competitive housing market. KPBS race and equity reporter Christina Kim caught up with the first grant recipient as he settles into his new home.
All right, cool. Tyshawn Cook has big plans for his newly purchased 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo in Spring Valley.
I'm in the middle of renovating everything, so the whole kitchen is going to get completely moved and destroyed. So the kitchen's actually going to come all the way out against this whole yellow wall, which is why it's not painted.
The 23-year-old is confident in his vision for his new home. Right now, his room is one of the few spots he's fully furnished and decorated with some of his favorite anime art. But he wants a more modern kitchen, and he's working with his dad to remove the carpet and replace it with new flooring.
Probably once a week, if not once every other week, definitely going to Home Depot, as he said. Now, it's something that obviously beforehand I wasn't thinking about, but happens. I mean, again, I'm in the process of renovating, so consistent. If I'm not going to Home Depot, I'm ordering things on Amazon.
Cook is an SDSU college student and Navy reservist, in addition to working full-time as a calibration technician. Now that he's also a homeowner, it puts him among a very small group of Black San Diegans. Only around a quarter of all Black people in San Diego City own a home. Meanwhile, more than half of all white and Asian San Diegans are homeowners. And the homeownership rate for Black people is even lower in places near Spring Valley, like La Mesa and El Cajon. That's according to a newly released study by the Urban Institute, a nonprofit research organization focused on economic policies.
The total amount of housing wealth held by white households or held by white homeowners is $129 billion. For Black homeowners, it's less than $5 billion.
Michael Neal was the lead researcher on the Urban Institute study. He says San Diego doesn't just have a racial gap in home ownership, but in home values as well.
Black homeowners, on average, their home value is $610,000, about a third less than the average value of a white-owned home.
Neal says historic housing and employment discrimination, coupled with longstanding wage gaps and rising housing costs, are at the heart of these persisting inequities. It's why a group of nonprofits and San Diego County Supervisor Nathan Fletcher's office launched the San Diego Black Homebuyers Program last August. The goal? To expand more economic opportunities for Black San Diegans, like Cook, who was the first recipient of the program. And as Supervisor Nathan Fletcher first said at the launch, to try and level the playing field.
Because we have such an obligation to ensure access to the American dream. There's no guarantee of equality of outcome, but there is supposed to be equality of access.
Now that the program is set up, it needs to expand and help more families, says Ricardo Flores. He's the executive director of LISC, the organization that administers the program's funds.
We've created the program, we've created the vehicle, we've got mortgages attached to it. Now we just need to be able to provide more.
He says that can happen without too big of an investment.
And the great thing is, so for $1 million, you can get 25 families home ownership opportunities, which is obviously going to change their lives indefinitely.
I like the balcony/patio.
And that's something that's already happening for Cook. He used the nearly $50,000 grant to pay his closing costs. Now he's using the money he saved to add value and equity back into his home. He hopes his condo will jumpstart his ability to build wealth and take care of the generations to come.
All I know is that I wanted to give my children a better childhood. Not that mine was bad, but in order for me to do that, one of the things that I want to be able to do is never tell my children no because of money, ever. Like, if I tell them no, it's going to be because I said no, not because, oh, my account's telling me no, you know?
For now, he's enjoying his home's scenic views of pink sunsets, and he's already planning on having his siblings visit and stay with him, something that wasn't possible until just last month. Christina Kim, KPBS News.
Boil water advisories in the East Village have been lifted days after a water main break. Thousands of people who live at 9 addresses were under notice until yesterday afternoon. The city had to get 2 negative tests in a row to confirm the water was safe to drink. A public information officer says aging cast iron water mains are set to be replaced by 2025.
Our red flag warnings will be allowed to expire later tonight as the winds are going to turn more onshore over the next couple of days. We had a strong offshore gradient with Santa Ana wind gusts getting pretty strong. And as those winds turn more onshore, we'll actually see some slightly cooler days ahead, especially for some of the coastal areas. Interior could still stay warm, but near the coast, temperatures are going to drop off. So again, still have plenty of red flag warnings that remain in effect through your Friday evening. After that, they will be allowed to expire. As we head into tonight, temperatures are going to be getting back down into the 40s for you from Escondido down towards Ramona into El Cajon, getting down into the low 50s in San Diego. Borrego Springs getting down to 47 degrees. Saturday is looking like a nice, bright, seasonable day. Even if the winds do turn more onshore, I do still think that we're going to see plenty of sunshine through the afternoon hours, even though you might have to fight a little bit of morning cloud cover there for coastal areas. Temperatures on your Saturday afternoon getting up into the upper 70s from Escondido out towards Ramona, El Cajon getting up to 78 too, 79 out towards Borrego Springs, upper 50s for you in Mount Laguna. Sunday temperatures 5 to 10 degrees above normal here. It's another dry day here and not expecting much in the way of travel impacts for anyone that did do some traveling for the holidays, maybe traveling back on Sunday. Not expecting anything major here to impact your travel. Near the coast, temperatures fall back down into the low to mid 70s over the next several days, not waffling a whole lot though out of that range. Further inland, we actually warm up a little bit, going from the upper 70s Saturday into the low 80s Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with plenty of sunshine. In the mountains, temperatures generally hovering in the upper 50s. Not a lot of change here from day in, day out. A mix of sunshine and clouds, but I think more sunshine than cloud cover. In the deserts, temps here too warm up from the upper 70s up into the mid 80s over the next several days. For KPBS News, I'm meteorologist Jessica Pash.
While the pandemic-related demand on food banks has waned, inflation is affecting families around the country. Camila Bernal has a look at how organizations are preparing for the holiday season.
The boxes full of food are a necessity for Maria Torralba.
I don't make enough money. That's the reason I come and get some food.
She receives donations 3 times a month and says at times she has to choose between food and gas.
So expensive. And the gas, you see my car is almost empty because we didn't have enough money to get some gas.
According to Feeding America, while demand from the beginning of the pandemic has gone down, in 2021, 1 in 8 people in the U.S. may experience food insecurity.
Now, 19, 20 months later, we're still running more than double the food volume from the pre-pandemic period.
Many food banks are not anticipating the massive distribution lines seen in 2020, but Michael Flood, CEO of the LA Regional Food Bank, says the need could still increase, fueled by inflation.
We fill the gaps with food purchases for what we're not seeing in the donated inventory, and that's where we're seeing some struggles.
Manny Flores, executive director of North Valley Caring Services, sees it firsthand and says it's not necessarily low-income families needing the extra food.
People who are trying to stay current with their rent, with their mortgage, with their car payment, their insurances, trying to get their kids to school.
People who are now also dealing with higher food prices.
Very expensive, very high prices and everything. So that's impossible to get some food in the grocery store.
I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
I'm William Brangham. On the next news hour, a new COVID-19 variant emerges, prompting new travel bans around the world. Coming up at 7, right after Evening Edition on KPBS.
Hi, I'm John Decker. Thank you for watching Evening Edition on KPBS. Now more than ever, local news is essential to our democracy, and KPBS is committed to delivering local news in San Diego and the Imperial Valley. Evening Edition, along with our other services on radio, digital, and podcasts, is how our news team delivers the news to you. How can we do it? With a passion for accurate storytelling and a commitment to excellence in journalism. But most importantly, we do it with your support. Our members, our viewers. If you've already donated to KPBS, then we thank you very much for your continued support. If you haven't had a chance to donate, now is a great time to show how much you appreciate the news we deliver. So please go online and choose a level, pick a gift at kpbs.org, or call or text donate at 1-800-576-5727, and thank you.
When you combine the Thanksgiving holiday and the return of Comic-Con, you get a busy travel weekend for San Diego. The San Diego Business Journal's Mariel Concepcion talks about these important few days in the Friday Business Report.
So we have to thank the gods who actually decided it made sense for Comic-Con special edition to happen during the holiday season, because it's going to add to the impact of the number of travelers that will come into our city, no doubt. It will be a scaled-down version, so attendance numbers will be less, but it is still the biggest event to be held at the San Diego Convention Center since March 2020, when COVID-19 first emerged stateside. According to the U.S. Transportation Security Administration, TSA, November 19th was the single busiest day for travel, on-air travel in the U.S., screening 2.24 million passengers. Now, for the Thanksgiving holiday, TSA is predicting that it's going to screen roughly 20 million passengers. The San Diego International Airport is expecting a 20% increase in travelers during this time period. And AAA, the American Automobile Association, is predicting that this holiday season is going to be the second busiest since the onset of COVID-19.
Among the panels at Comic-Con this weekend, there will be a group of women who are considered superheroes, not because of superhuman powers, but because of their intelligence and scientific backgrounds. KPBS education reporter MG Perez takes us inside another comic book world, inspiring the younger generation to be leaders in learning.
These magnificent women are superheroes, steaming ahead with education and inspiration. There is Jasmine L. Sadler, the rocket scientist ballerina, Sam Wynn, the conservation biologist, and Dr. Bieta Mirzwa, a molecular biologist and fashion designer.
The whole time I was in school to be an aerospace engineer, I didn't know any other black women who graduated before me.
So what you see here is the blue layers are dividing cells. So the blue is the DNA. It's what makes us who we are.
Dr. Bieta designs fashion based on the science she sees in a microscope. She's as comfortable in a multicolored dress as her white lab coat, which she wears conducting experiments at UC San Diego. She studies how different types of cells divide and how they can can help treat cancer, maybe someday cure it. Growing up, no one modeled for her how she could study science and be an artist.
I was torn between these two. And because I didn't have any role models, I decided to go for biology first. And only later, I discovered that I can combine my passions and then create science and art.
Jasmine L. Sadler found herself in a similar situation back home in Detroit, where she started dancing at the age of 5. There was something in the way she moved and later performed as a competitive ballerina that inspired her to chase her aerospace engineering dreams as well. There is a connection in how a dancer flies above the stage, just like an airplane in the sky. Now she's sharing that with students.
Teachers are superheroes. We take impressionable minds and we put just gifts in those. And so once those flourish, then you can create all types of new technology, innovation around us.
Education fits right in with the anime and extraterrestrials. San Diego Comic-Con is a nonprofit organization with a mission statement committed to education and bringing awareness to the arts and culture through comics. The superhero education trio also includes Sam Wins, known as the Mother of Snakes because of her conservation work at the Cabrillo National Monument. She gathers data as a field biologist and is most proud of her annual summer science camp for girls. She is determined to bring equity to science.
If these people had always been invited to the scientific table, if underserved groups had always been invited to the scientific table, maybe climate change would not be where it's at. Maybe we would have cures for diseases like cancer.
Important goals for a group of superheroes who don't wear capes. MG Perez, KPBS News.
And you can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thank you for joining us and have a great evening.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air, proud to support the mission of KPBS and privileged to serve San Diego clients. Anderson Plumbing, Heating and Air, helping homeowners maintain drain, heating, and cooling systems since 1978. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley. And by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.